How's it going, lovebirds? You are now tuned in to the podcast that brings you relationship advice from real relationship experiences. I'm your host, Derek Brown Jr., and on today's episode of the Good Relationships podcast, we have a very, very special guest and episode, just something different. So today, on episode 40, we're going to do something real. We're going to do something raw. And for the first time ever, we're just going to have a conversation. And the title of today's conversation is Conversation with a Virgin. Should you stay a virgin or should you not stay a virgin? In terms of, like, should you wait, why you should wait, all that good stuff. So I'm introducing to you today, Alex.
How you guys doing? And as he said, I am a virgin. So, yeah.
So, I mean, it was very interesting having this conversation before the podcast. I know that it's something that you want to talk about. I definitely am interested in talking about it. And so, I mean, it's a real raw conversation. So, I mean, I'm just going to throw some questions at you.
All right.
Let's just get into it.
I'm ready.
So, what are your thoughts when it comes to you right now being a virgin? I mean, you are still pretty young, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't ever think it's a big deal, you know. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I am actually 17 right now, so I mean, I think it, like, honestly, because everyone around me, it seems like everyone lost their virginity, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I feel like personally, like, I'm ready, you know, but just never got to that point yet.
So when you say that you're ready, like, what do you mean by that? what does that mean?
All right, so I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I'm ready for this. You know, like just ready for some action. You know.
Okay. So what like, are there people around you who are just having these conversations with you? Are they like, oh, this is what I'm doing, and do you feel pressured at all, or? No,
I wouldn't say I feel pressured, but it's just like, it's kind of like a want, you know? Like not like a want where I'd be like, oh, hey, like, hit up someone, only care about, like, sex, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like that, but I mean, like, some of my friends, I know some of my friends, they have, like, 27 body count, like,
oh, wow,
like, freaking up there, like, 13, 14, like.
Do you honestly think that that's true? Do you, like, do you feel like they're just talking?
I mean, I feel like it is true, but,
And
I mean, sometimes, like, okay, there's this one girl I worked with, she said she had a body count of, like, 80.
That's outrageous, man.
Like, that's crazy.
that's fucking crazy, man.
Facts. Like, I mean, I don't see someone, like, wanting it that much, like, and they were same age as me, like 17, 18.
Wow. So just wondering, because I mean, I don't want anybody to get any certain idea that we're leaning towards one way, but from your perception of that, when you hear numbers like 80, by the way, a body count is essentially how many people you have slept with or had sex with. So do you feel like that's kind of like something to be proud of or not?
I would say that's not something to be proud of, because honestly, like, STDs do exist, like.
They definitely exist.
So I wouldn't say throwing a number around, like, walking in to work being like, yo, I got a body count of 80. Like, that's not something to brag about, you know? But, yeah, so that's pretty much all I got to say for that.
I mean, what about the other people who are in your life that are virgins? Do you guys, like, have some kind of mission to, you know, because in all the, like, popular movies, it's like a team of guys who are, like, looking to get deflowered somebody or be deflowered. Like, they're just looking to lose their virginity. So it's like, I know that our perception, and maybe this is just our country kind of thing or our culture kind of thing, where it's like, if you're still a virgin, it's kind of frowned upon by some some people? Do
Yeah.
you feel like you get a little bit of that?
I mean, honestly though, like, I don't think I get frowned upon, but I mean, it is kind of awkward. Like, for example, if I'm talking to someone, and then they're like, "Oh, what's your body count?" Like, what you're just having that conversation, you know, talking about stuff like that, and then I'm just like, "Oh, I'm at 0." I mean, I say it proudly though,
Yeah,
you know,
heck yeah.
like, yeah, I'm at 0, and then like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes it creates like a little awkward, an awkward moment, like for a minute though, but then like, I don't know, I don't think it's that bad though. Like, I've never had a situation where people look down on me. But to answer your question about like other virgins around me, I mean, I don't really know any
other ones.
Yeah, facts. Like most of my friends already lost it, you know.
Interesting. And has been their experience afterwards? Like, do they seem excited and when they talk to you about it, their experience, or are they like, "Oh, I wish I would have waited"?
Okay. So, I mean, I'm glad you asked that because like some people did tell me they're like, everyone has a perception of it being like, oh, these angels came down as soon as
they think
like,
that it's
yeah, exactly. Like it's a big deal. But they told me like, yeah, it's nothing crazy like that. Like it just happens, and 2 seconds later you're done.
2 seconds later. Hey, I mean, get it how you live.
Facts.
I mean, and that's the thing. I think that it's definitely going to be something for you. And honestly, off the record, we've talked about this before. Like, you know how I feel about you going down that road and not like. I feel like it's something to treasure because at any point in time, once it's gone, it's gone. But at the same time, it's like when you feel like you're ready, there are moments, there are people, a person that you may feel like, okay, and that could be in marriage, outside of marriage. I don't know because that's none of my business.
Right.
You know, but like, I personally would say, don't just give that shit to just anybody, you know, because like you said, if there's somebody with a high body count and it's just meaningless to them, then I mean you're just a body count. But it's different when you're dealing with somebody who you're investing time with each other, you're investing energy into each other, you're planning, you're prepping, you're experiencing each other to the fullest. Then let's say you end up marrying that person down the road, or you're experiencing these special moments with them. It's a lot different.
Exactly.
You know? So I guess that kind of matters a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm no expert.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, I would say I definitely don't want to lose it to just, like, some random girl I meet one night, you know? I want to, like, actually have a connection with them, you know? Like, so I feel like that's why I kind of waited so long, you know? But I don't want to wait. I'm not, like, one of those people that's like, oh, I'm going to wait till marriage. But, yeah, that's not really me because, I mean, I respect that if you do believe that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're a young man and you have hormones. Your hormones are, you know, they're increasing. You're maturing and testosterone is hitting you. You're around younger, beautiful women. And, like, you are at the stage where you're coming into adulthood, so especially if there's people around you who are having these conversations, it can be. And I remember, I'm speaking from my experience also.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, dang, like, one, how do I even get into that situation? Two, like, what do I even do in that situation? Because I've never done that. And you know, where do I even learn this information from? Like, how do I even learn how to be safe, or what is it like afterwards, or should I really build a connection with this person, or am I just trying to set an accomplishment for myself? Like, these are all thoughts I'm sure you've probably had too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I would say, I don't know, just like I said before, just like the connection. I've thought about that before, like, do I just want to like do it with anyone, or like, but to me, I feel like at first when I was younger, I really like thought just man, I need to get this, like, lose it, get this V card out of my wallet. But no, now I feel like I don't really care as much, you know? Like when I'm hanging out with a girl, I don't like force it, you know?
Right.
Or I don't know, I'm just hella chill. Maybe that's why I also haven't lost my virginity.
No, I think that's a great quality. I honestly think that's one of your best qualities. Like, you're super laid back, you're not really thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you should like just I think you should just like keep letting that be how it goes until
Facts.
something natural happens, if it's the right thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, if it's not right, bro, that would suck. Like,
Exactly.
to have and I've heard this from some people too, like, their first time is like, oh, okay, well.
Right. Yeah.
Or some people didn't even want to experience it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, you have an opportunity to kind of decide, which is super interesting.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's like a misconception though, like with some people or as in with women anyway, is some people only care about like sex and that's why they get with a girl. But like for me, that's definitely not it. Like, I mean, I would say definitely personality is a big one that I look for like in a relationship. I mean, also looks too. Like, I don't want to date someone I'm not attracted to.
Right.
Of course. Sense. But, so yeah, I would say, like, because most guys my age are just trying to rack up the number.
Isn't that interesting, though?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of that?
Exactly. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, I just kind of, like, think different, because some people, they just care about, like, the feeling and all that. But, like, I don't know. I feel like I try to think ahead, you know? Think about the future. And, I don't know, like, what is it after the, like, 10, 20 minutes, however long?
20 minutes.
Okay. I don't know, however long.
No, I feel that. And, I mean, honestly, man, there's no, like I said, nobody has, like, the right answer for that, because it'll be, like, your personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you honestly don't really know when it'll happen, and you may or may not be ready for it, and all you can do is... I feel like all you can do is kind of prepare yourself for it as best as possible. Like, obviously, it's smart to walk around with protection. You know,
yeah.
I'm gonna make sure you leave with protection before you leave out of this house. I'm gonna make sure you leave with some protection, just in case, you know.
For sure.
You don't want to be out here 18 and with a stroller, you know, like
exactly.
You know.
Yeah, facts.
But. That if that's what you want.
No, definitely not. I do know, like, there's a lot of people I went to school with that already have kids, and I'm like, I could not see myself having kids at this young an age.
Yeah, it's not like I feel like some people actually frown upon it, but in my experience, you know, I've had family members who've had kids at that young age, and honestly, from observing, I'm like, yeah, you definitely weren't ready for that. Mm-hmm. And then there's some people who are just ready for that role, like they're really good parents and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's weird because it's like it just depends. You know, some people, their fathers leave, the father of the kid leaves, and
that's what happened to me.
Oh shit!
No, it's all good. I don't care. But yeah, no, my mom, she got pregnant at 17, so my age, and then my actual dad. Like, I don't even know him, to be honest, but apparently he was just like, fuck it, I'm heading out, like, I don't want a kid. But honestly, though, like, it makes sense, though, because if I was my age and I got a girl pregnant, I'd be like, shit, like, I'm not trying to have a kid, you know?
Holy crap, yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, I would, like, man up, though.
Right. I feel like you're the different kind of guy where you just figure it out.
Facts.
But, I mean... I guess that is something to think about. Like, what kind of emotions would you experience as a 17-year-old or 18-year-old who just got somebody pregnant? And I mean, especially if it's somebody who you don't really know that well, that could be even more scary.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I feel like just doing it with someone I care about and all that, really, that's where it would make sense, you know?
Okay. So... in your past, because you've had girlfriends before, right? How many girlfriends have you had?
I don't know. Well, all I know is, like, I got my first girlfriend in, like, 1st or 2nd grade.
Okay.
So I was a little player back in elementary school. So a decent amount. But, yeah, I mean, not that many that actually got to, like, that level, but, yeah.
So do you, like, with these girlfriends, have you ever had the intention of, like... having sex with them, or has it just kind of been like, oh, we're just boyfriend, girlfriend? I mean, you're still young. So.
I would say so in high school, but yeah, it never got to that point, you know?
Did you ever, what was that thought just in your mind during those time periods?
I would say some relationships.
You know.
Like, I don't know, I feel like when I was like a freshman, sophomore, like that's all I was thinking about, you know?
You're right.
And then that's like why I dated, you know?
Right, that makes sense.
But, yeah.
So where do you feel like...
I mean, actually, let me jump back to that, though, because there has been a relationship I can think of where I was like, I dipped out because I, like, the thought of it, I was like, whoa. Okay, let me say something before I say this, is I don't judge people on, like, their body count, but, like, I mean, you kind of gotta protect yourself, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Could you elaborate just a little bit?
So, I don't know, like, just... I remember when I was like a freshman, I was dating this girl. It was like and then she really like slept around with a lot of guys. Wow. So I was like, I don't know. 8th grade year, we really learned about STDs. I don't know about this.
So were you more so like
scared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why were you scared? Like,
I don't know. I would just say, for one, I know I wasn't ready, and for two, like. Just the thought of it, you know? Like, because I've heard before, like, the Quad Cities is, like, the number one, or not, like, high up there on the list of people with STDs.
Yeah, I've actually heard the same thing.
So, I'm really, like, hella cautious with that, you know?
It makes sense.
I mean, I'm not gonna, like, diss someone about it, though. But, like, I'm just gonna protect myself, though, you know?
I mean, the best way to... The 100% success rate is just not having sex.
Facts.
I actually went a lot, like, majority of my life, and, you know, I grew up... I wasn't exposed to my... So, I wasn't a Christian until, like, college. Mm-hmm. So, growing up, my parents weren't, like, really big on that. They didn't care if I did or didn't. They weren't really... big on that, but in college it was kind of like a big deal where it's like, okay, I shouldn't have sex before marriage. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, outside of that, it was like, okay, if you're not married, you know, you can expose yourself to STDs or getting girls pregnant. So, like, I myself wasn't extremely educated in high school. So, when it came to all that stuff, all I knew was to protect myself 100%. It was just don't do it. Mm-hmm. It was like, look, you can't... There's no way you're having kids. There's no way you're getting STDs if you're not doing it. But at the same time, you know, if you're somebody who is interested in having sex with someone and you feel like, okay, this is somebody I want to experience on that kind of level, then contraceptives, like protection, it seems like it works. Mm-hmm. So is that something that... Do you feel like you need to educate yourself on that more, or has your parents been involved in that?
I would say I don't really need that much education just because, like, I remember 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, like, 8th grade, they're, like, throwing it down your throat, just, like, abstinence, showing you all these pictures of STDs and, like,
oh my gosh,
stuff like that, yeah. So, yeah, and they really, like, threw that down your throat. But then I always keep that in the back of my head. And honestly, I'm glad you bring up, like, my parents, too, because I feel like that's another reason why. Is because, like, they really, like, when I was a kid and they always, like, lectured and stuff, they were always, like, basically, like, they didn't want me to, you know? And every time I hung out with a girl, they were always, like, oh, is there a parent home? Like, they always wanted to make sure, you know? Mm-hmm. So, because I mean, my mom was, like, a teen mom, so she was, like, she really was, like, worried about that stuff.
Right. My mom, too. My mom did the same thing. She was a teen mom, and if I ever had girls over in high school, she was like, keep that damn door open. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, you know, I get it. I get it now. Yeah. You know, so, no, that's I mean, I think that goes pretty deep. Mm-hmm. Because I guess they're just like, they didn't want us to experience what they experienced. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, yeah, you got a lot of life ahead of you.
Facts.
You know, God willing. So,
yeah,
it's like, you know, you can't. What were we talking about Tinder earlier? And you were like, I asked you, I was like, were you on Tinder? And you were like,
I'm not 18 yet.
like you, like honestly, man, like if as soon as you turn 18, if you if you really wanted to, bro, we've had multiple people on the show in the past that just say, look, Tinder is just where it's at for that stuff. So, I mean, it's not, it wouldn't be crazy for you, but once again, you got one time with it.
True. Yeah. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, I guess, like I said earlier, just when I do lose it, though, I want to make it, like, good, though, like, someone I care about. But definitely not waiting till marriage, like, because imagine if I waited till marriage to, like, because I don't want to get married in my 20s, so, like, the 30s, and then, so, imagine me being, like, a 30-year-old, not knowing what to do.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but, like, I mean, I don't judge people, but, I personally wouldn't want to be like that, you know?
So what's your, like, ideal timeline? Do you see yourself?
I would say I'm definitely not, like, in a super rush, but I would say probably in, like, the next few years, you know? But, yeah. Probably, I mean, I could see before 20, you know?
It's crazy because it could happen, like, any day, man.
True.
And then we'll have to have a follow-up.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll have to have a follow-up.
Explaining everything.
Yeah. That's interesting. So, like, how close have you been in a scenario where it's almost happened?
Dude, never.
Never?
Never,
like,
bro.
Not even close.
Not even close, bro. Dude, the most I've done with a girl is, like, made out.
Cool. Sweet. Dope. So, so would you, like, I'm trying to think, man, because I'm like, for once, I'm kind of lost for words. So it's like, if you were put in that situation, how do you think that you would know about it? Like,
I mean, alright, so let me tell you something real quick. So when I was detasseling, which was like 2 or 3 years ago, my first year detasseling, which was like, 3 years ago, we were like picking the tassels, and that's what we would talk about and stuff like that. So
like you and the other guys out there?
Yeah. So I feel like I got a lot of advice from other people, and it's like stored in there.
In there, so you just got it, just waiting to unleash it?
Yeah, facts.
The only thing is, like, it's tough to know when they're telling, you know what I mean? Because I know some people who tell stories, man. Mm-hmm. And you know how guys are.
Yeah.
They tell stories, but it might not be the true story.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and that's why I was telling you, like, man, if you get to that point, don't overreact. Just, like,
be chill with it.
Yeah, just be chill and communicate, because, I mean, you don't have to be, I don't know if you listen to J. Cole at all, but he has a song out, a song that he's made some time ago, and it's basically explaining how, you know, he faked it with the girl to say that he was experienced, and they both were not experienced at all. So it's like, it's a really good song. I'll play it for you after the show.
For sure.
But it's like there could be that girl that you end up being with, and she could be in the same boat as you. So, you know, some people have those, like, pressures where they're like, okay, I feel like I need to be experienced. This girl may have a body count of this guy may have a body count of this, but at the same time, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong, especially when it's your first time. Mm-hmm. Like, as long as you communicate that.
Right.
Especially if it's somebody you end up marrying, like I said, like, 'cause you don't know yet, it's like, hey, how can you go wrong?
Facts. Yeah, I feel like that's one thing, like, I guess I would say is kind of stressful about it, is because, I mean, people, it does, I just think about, like, I mean, just people talking to me, just, like, what if I was in that situation and, like, I'm not experienced at all, so, like, what if it was, like, hella awkward and, like, I mean, that's how it's gonna be, though.
Yeah, I guess so. But, I mean, it may not be. But if it is,
true,
I guess that's kind of, like, a part of the experience. It's just, it's at the end of the day, like, it's a story to learn from, you know? And I know I could tell you a lot of stories, bro. Like, there's a lot of stories, and, I mean, you know many of the other guys on our team and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's definitely something that we've all learned from, and as you can see, a lot of people who are around you now are starting to settle down if they're not already married, and there's kind of like a reason for that because you know,
life is not all about that. You know?
Because I mean, it's all good. I mean, sex is all good, depending on who. I mean, I'm trying to say it without leaning away, but it's like when it's right, it is right, and like when you end up with the right person and it's right, you won't ever have to worry about that. Like there will never be another time where you're a virgin. So then it's like, okay, it's just a normal thing for you. Not normal because it's still emotions and stuff involved, like and whatnot, but it'll be like, okay, it's just a thing. So then you're back to the entrepreneur grind. So
yeah,
it's interesting though because there's a lot of power in that, in you being a virgin.
True. Yeah. I mean, okay, one thing I do want to say, though, is the ladies out there are still listening. I want you to know... I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say.
I don't know what you're going to say.
No. But, not every guy thinks about sex 24/7. So that's what I want to say. Because I don't. And... Do you?
Do I?
Yeah.
Nah, not 24/7.
See? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of women think that, but it's not true. I mean, there are guys out there that do.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
I know a few, to be honest.
Bro, I know guys who that's every conversation we have, it's like an extension of how many girls they're talking to, how many girls they were trying to be with, and even some of my girlfriends. Not like multiple girlfriends, but even some of my friends that are girls, it's like that's just all the conversation is about. It's like, okay, who experienced with this guy, and it's like, okay, well, what about actual life and those kind of experiences, you know? So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think every guy is like that at all.
Yeah, I would... I would say that, sorry, got sidetracked. But, shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, I was gonna say that there's this one dude that I know, I went to school with him, and, like, we are friends and all that, but every time I was in the hallway, like, that's all, he would, like, talk about girls passing by. Like, that's kind of a little extra,
that's
you know?
Super extra. How are you focusing on just life?
Facts, like... I don't know. I feel like that's a little, pervertive too, but I don't know.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, as long as you're not, like, actually doing anything, like, touching them or something. But I remember I used to, like, hang out with him a lot. So I remember my mindset was kind of going like that too. But then, like, I don't know, after I just, like, stopped hanging out with him. And, yeah, I realized, like, dang, that's kind of messed up, you know? Just... everything you think about is that.
And I'm sure that, like, because I know those kind of guys sometimes can be extremely, like, vulgar, and they just say, like, super obscene things. And even hearing that kind of stuff from me when I was growing up, it was like, dang, man, like, you can't possibly be serious, you know? It'd make me not even want to, like, go down that road. It made me want to be, like, a gentleman even more and shit like that.
Right.
It's like, you're literally disrespecting the fuck out of women. And, like, you're objectifying them, and it just doesn't really feel good, especially when you're the kind of guy that you actually would treat a woman right. You know, and your mind isn't on, like, sex all the time. Your mind is constantly on, like, getting to know somebody or actually showing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like this was a really good podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so, too. And, I mean, now is the perfect time to share what kind of type of women you're looking for. And I'd say number drop, man. I'd say number drop. Find the right person right now. Explain your type of, we're playing matchmaker. Go ahead. Drop what kind of woman you want. Explain what kind of guy you are. What kind of things you're interested in. Obviously, if somebody has listened to the podcast up to this point, they're most likely worth getting with. Thank you for listening, lovebirds. So yeah, let's lay it out on the table.
All right, so I would say So my style is I'm more laid back. Like, I like to act like a gentleman. I dress nice, or try to every day.
Facts.
But, so yeah, I would say I'm pretty chill. Like, yeah, I really like business. Like, I'm going into entrepreneurship. And I really like self-development, like, just bettering myself every day. I'm really interested in that. I mean, I also like doing things outdoors, too. Like, I like going, like, kayaking. One time I went ziplining, rock climbing. That's so fun. Like, stuff like that is super fun to me. Hiking, like, yeah. I like, to be honest, walking around trails and stuff, like, with a girl, like, that's pretty fun, you know? Like, I enjoy stuff like that. And so, yeah, I would say, like, for me, like, my standards, I don't really have, like, too high standards. Like, because I feel like some guys, they have, like, super high standards, and, like, then they are single forever, you know? But, I don't know, for me, like, I'm just, like, personality really matters to me. And then, of course, it has to be something like someone I'm attracted to. But, I mean, don't think I might not be attracted to you, because you never know. Like, so, yeah, but just, really good personality. Yeah, just, yeah, pretty much. That's it, I would say.
Okay. So, ladies, lovebirds, great personalities, maybe even a love for business, creative.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Intellectual.
Okay, low-key, one day, the side note, you know Grant Cardone's wife?
Mm-hmm.
I deadass want a wife like that. Like, someone that's freaking has their own business, well put together, like, grinding every day with me, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I definitely know what you're talking about. Me too.
Yeah, like, that's like my goal, you know? Just to find someone like that. But, I mean, that's a journey, though, so not saying you have to be like that, but...
It'd be appreciated.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, someone that also supports, too. Like, there's women out there that, like, don't support their man, you know? Like, you gotta... Yeah.
Right.
Just, if you have a good personality, you can support, and yeah, just full send. Hit me up.
I mean, you want a number drop? Instagram drop?
Yeah, my Snapchat, that's the best way, is, so it's Alex_Russell0, and that's ALEX_RUSSELL0. So yeah, that's my Snap, and then my Instagram, same thing. TikTok, follow me on there. No. Right. And then my YouTube is Alex Russell. Go subscribe. You already know.
All right, and age limit, you know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm 17. I'm about to be 18 in like 2 or 3 weeks. So, I mean, as long as they're not like super young, you know, like where it's like a little weird. I mean, shoot, if a 26-year-old's down,
ooh,
I'm down.
Hey, my damn, mess your head up, boy.
No, yeah, I don't really care, to be honest.
No, that's awesome. Okay, well, my last question for you, now that we're at the end of the podcast, do you have any last words or last bits of advice for any other virgins across the board? Anybody who you think could benefit from what you've experienced as a virgin up until this point?
I would say, like, I mean, just whenever you're ready, like, because I feel like that's why I haven't yet, you know? I'm not ready, you know? So, just do it when you're ready. And I feel like I know some people, like, I've had family members tell me in the past, they're like, definitely wait till you're ready. Like, that's where I got it from. And because I remember a family member told me a story, like, that they weren't ready and, like, they regret it and all that. And, like, I know for me anyway, like, I don't want to get to the end of life and have a whole bunch of regrets. Like, right now, just don't do anything you will regret. So, yeah, that's the advice I have. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks again for being on the show.
No problem.
It was a pleasure having just a real raw conversation with you, and I hope everybody enjoys this podcast. We'll be having more kinds of conversations like this with different kinds of people and different kinds of relationships. And as always, lovebirds, thank you for listening. Stay blessed, not stressed.
Peace.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.